Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video of Python programming tutorial. In this video we will see basics of tuples. Previously we have discussed basics of lists, right? Tuple is same as a list, but tuple is immutable, meaning that elements of tuple cannot be changed. Whereas list is mutable, we can change the elements of list. And tuple we can consider as read-only version of list. Let's see how we can declare tuple variable. In this I have opened Visual Studio Code Editor and I have created tuples.py Python file. Now let's declare one variable of tuple type. T1 is equal to, we have to enclose the tuple variables in parenthesis or open parenthesis, and inside it you can assign the values of tuples. Now I will assign 1 2 3 and one string variable called Python, and then Java, and in string we can denote in double quotes or triple quotes and single quote. Three notations are also possible. We will see strings in-depth video in future. Now let's get started. Let's continue with the declarations part, and we can add one complex number as well. Complex number number is a fundamental data type. We have already covered in our previous video, and in tuple we have tuples as well. That means tuple of tuples is also allowed and tuple of lists are also allowed. So this is the entire tuple I have created. So let me print the type of tuple. Type is a function which how can I put it? Yeah, type is a function returns the data type of object. So type of t1. So type is a function which returns the data type of a variable or data type in object. So it will print class tuple as an output. So what it will print? So it will print class tuple as tuple as output, right? So let me run this code. Right click and run this code. You will see the output. So this is the output. So let me see other important definitions. So let me open the PPT once again. It is a ordered collection of heterogeneous data elements, which you already covered. What do you mean by ordered collection? Ordered collection in the sense index will be there. That means at 0th position 1 will be present, at 1st position 2 will be present, at 2th position 3 will be present. Like that, index will incremented. So though this is the ordered collection of heterogeneous data elements. That means heterogeneous means 1 2 3 is of integer type, Python and Java is of string type, 10 plus 20 is of complex type, and 1 2 3 itself is a tuple type, and 1 comma 2 comma 3 which is enclosed in square brackets itself is a list type. So a tuple object can have different data elements. So that means heterogeneous data elements can also be present. So let us continue with other points in tuples. So it is represented in parenthesis and it is optional, and comma is in between values. Comma is mandatory and parenthesis is optional. So this part is very important. So let me declare one tuple again. So t2, I'm not putting any parenthesis here. I'm declaring 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So this is one tuple value. How we can say it is a tuple value? You can directly print with type function, and please ensure that it is a tuple variable. Type function which we already seen, it will return data type of object, right? So just do it with t2. You will have the proof. So type of t2, and run this code once again, and both are class tuples only, and we didn't mention parenthesis. That is why parenthesis is optional, but it is recommended to use parenthesis for readability purpose. So if anyone comes and sees our code, they have to understand what is a tuple means, what is a integer means. These and all good programming practices we have to follow. That is why parenthesis is required. So let's put parenthesis back so that it will be easier to understand it is a tuple variable. And so if you, in order to declare one single tuple value, so you need to take a little extra precaution. Why means, let me declare one more tuple variable, and I will say, so is this a tuple variable? And many of you think that it is a tuple variable because it is enclosed in parenthesis, and as per the definition, comma also mandatory, but several people forget that point, and if they print type of 3, they assume that it will be a class tuple variable, but it is not. It is an integer value, because every parenthesis, if one variable is exists, it is considered as tuple. I mean, it's considered as int or float. If we do like this, it will consider as float value. So if I declare with one variable, it is considered as int. I hope you're getting my point. So let me run this code so that it will be clearer. So while declaring single value tuple, you need to take care a little bit. So let me run this code. So what it is printing? It is printing class int on the line number 5th. Okay. So in order to avoid this, you need to put a comma. That is why comma is mandatory for tuples. Okay. For list, it is not an issue, because if you put it in inside square brackets, by default Python interpreter assumes that it is a list variable, but that is not the case with tuples. You need to put comma here explicitly so that it is a single value tuple. So let me run this code once again so that you will have the much more clarity. So run this code, and now both three are, all the three are class tuples. So while declaring single value tuple, you need to take care a little bit extra precaution. So with that said, let me see other points as well. So what and all other points? So indexing and slicing is applicable. What do you mean by indexing? So index starts from 0, right? If you come from C background, you have already seen what is indexing. The same concept goes here as well, and this concept is already covered in list topic. The same concept will applicable here in as well in tuples as well. So if you, I'm clearing this entire 2 to 6 lines, and I will focus on the variable of t1 only. So let me count the index values. So at the 0th position we have 1th value, at 1th position we have 2, at the 2nd position we have 3. You assume you're following it, right? So 0th index we have one variable, and we have one value. So let me print index. So how you can print t1 of t1 square brackets, and it is a subscript, and if you put 0 here, the first element will be printed. What is the first element in tuple t1? It is number 1. The value 1 will be printed. So if you print last index, Python supports negative index. We have already seen in lists. So Python support negative index. If you put -1, the last element of tuple gets printed. So print t1 of -1. What it will print? So 1, 2, 3, it is a list. This list will be printed as part of last element. So what is the last element now? 1, 2, 3. This will get printed. Let's run this code and see our assumption is correct or wrong. So let me run this code quickly. Yes, so the expected output or the desired output, we are matching with that. So our understanding is correct as of now. So let me print -2 value. So print t1 of -2. What you mean by -2? So if your negative index starts from left to right, right to left. I'm sorry for my mistake here. So if you put if you access from negative index, it will start from right to left. So that means this order, what I am highlighting from right to left, that's get evaluated. So -1 means the list value of 1 2 3, and minus 2 means the tuple value of 1 2 3, and minus 3 means the complex data type value called 10 plus 20j. So this is how the negative index will get printed. So minus 2, what is the desired output now? What is the expected output? What value gets printed here? So minus 2 means the tuple value of my 1 comma 2 comma 3 will get printed. So let me run this code again and see our output 1 comma 2 comma 3. So in that same fashion, you can increment the index values, and you can practice those negative index and positive indexing, how the internal working of tuples. So with that said, now let's move to another topic. It is immutable. Immutable means we cannot change the elements of tuple, and in list we can change the elements of tuple. I mean, we can I'm sorry again. So in list we can change the elements of a list, so that is called mutable. So tuple is list is mutable, and tuple is immutable. So how we can prove this point? So for example, at so we have 0 1 2 3, at third position we have Python. Now I will consider C++ as an output. So I'm changing Python to C++. So how we can do this? So we can do this by print. So let me do one thing, t1 of, so 0 1 2 3. If you put 3, and now we are assigning the value of CPP, and if you run this program you will get error, because tuple object does not support item assignment. Like that, it will get type error, because tuple is a immutable object. We cannot change the elements of a tuple. So that is the basic rule, and we are violating at the line number 5. So if you run this code, you will get a runtime error. Or so let me see this, so that you will have much clarity. So let me run this code. So the type error comes, and tuple object does not support assignment. So we cannot assign the value of a tuple. We cannot change the value of tuples once it is declared. So with that said, so these are the basic information about tuples. So there are other things as well. There are in-depth video of tuples will come in future. So in-depth video of list also coming in future. Now we have covered basics of tuples and lists as of now. Let's see the differences, key differences which we have found till now. So let me revisit the lists. Lists are mutable, meaning list object can be changed. So if you declare list, and we can change the element. So this we have seen in previous video of list. You can refer that. And tuple means tuples are immutable, meaning tuple objects cannot be changed. This is the only one difference, and the notation is difference. So what and all key differences we have noticed so far? So difference between lists and tuples: list is mutable, whereas tuple is immutable. So list is enclosed in square brackets, and it is mandatory, and whereas tuples is represented in open parenthesis, and it is optional, and comma is mandatory for tuples. So this and all the important topics we have covered so far, and this is not the in-depth video of lists and tuples. And in-depth video of tuples and lists will come in future. I hope this video is useful, and let's see in another video. Thank you. Bye bye.